In the heart of the nestled between jazz clubs and voodoo shops, stands the Hotel Beauregard, a towering antique hotel built in 1884. Once a grand symbol of luxury during the Gilded Age, the hotel is now mostly forgotten, overshadowed by newer resorts and modern chains. But the locals whisper. They say, if you stay in room 413, something stays with you after. In June 2025, a young travel vlogger named Jason Liu decided to investigate the rumors for his horror YouTube channel. His subscribers had begged him to stay a night in the infamous room. He thought it was just urban legend, perfect setup for clicks. He checked in on June 8th, alone, carrying only his camera gear, a Ouija board for show, and a smug smile. The front desk agent didn't even flinch when he requested room 413, but she didn't give him a keycard either. Instead, she slid across an old brass skeleton key, tied with a red ribbon. "You'll need this," she said. "The lock doesn't like to be touched." Jason laughed it off. The elevator creaked as it rose. Every light flickered when it passed the 4th floor. The hallway outside room 413 was ice cold, despite the June heat. The wallpaper was peeling, and the door itself looked burnt, as if someone had tried to torch it decades ago, but failed. He unlocked the door. Inside, silence, no TV hum, no city noise, not even the sound of his own breath. He set up his camera, turned on night vision, and jokingly said into the mic, "Let's see if this haunted hellhole lives up to its name." It did. Within 2 hours, his footage would capture a mirror fogging up with the words, "Don't sleep." A woman's reflection standing behind him when no one was there, and the closet door creaking open on its own, revealing only a rotating ceiling fan mounted inside the closet, blade smeared with something black and dripping dot. At exactly 3:13 a.m., Jason stopped talking to the camera. His last words were, "Wait, who the hell are why?" The camera shut off, and Jason was never found. The next service knocked on the door of room 413 at exactly 9 o'clock a.m. No answer. They knocked again. Still nothing. The young bellboy, Ethan, who had just started working at Hotel Beauregard 2 weeks earlier, was told never to enter room 413 under any circumstance. But he had a strong stomach, and curiosity was louder than fear. He used his master key. The moment he opened the door, a blast of rotting air hit his face. The lights inside flickered like they were struggling to breathe. Jason's camera was still on the tripod, pointed at the bed, but the bed was untouched. The sheets were stiff, as if something wet had soaked through and then dried, leaving behind a shadow shaped like a man. There were no bags, no wallet, no phone, no Jason, but the closet door was open. Inside, the walls were completely scorched, like someone had set fire to the wood from the inside out. And at the back of the closet, where there should have been a wall, there was instead a small, red-painted door, not painted red, but red as in veined, pulsing, and slightly moist to the touch. Ethan didn't touch it, but when he leaned forward, just to look, he swore he heard something knocking from the other side. He fled the room. That same afternoon, management quietly placed a closed for renovation sign on room 413 and shut it off to guests. But the vlogger's video, it auto-uploaded that night. Jason had set his channel to post automatically at noon the next day, but instead, somehow, it went live at exactly 3:13 a.m., time-stamped with his disappearance. The video only lasted 11 minutes, titled, "Don't Stay in This Room." The footage was shaky, but what stood out most wasn't Jason. It was what happened behind him. A woman in a wedding dress, standing in the corner, but her head was on backward. An object crawling across the ceiling that looked like a limp body twisting in reverse motion. The closet opening, revealing the red door slowly peeling open on its own. In the last frame of the video, Jason approaches the door. Just before the camera goes black, a second voice, not his own, whispers, "He Let it out. Let it out. 2-day video went live. 3 more guests canceled their reservations at Hotel Beauregard. 2 others simply vanished, checked in, swiped their keycards, but never checked out. No security footage showed them leaving the building. The concierge, Mr. LaRue, didn't report it. He knew this pattern. He'd seen it before, because Jason wasn't the first guest to go missing in room 413. He was the 9th. Each disappearance was different, yet eerily connected. Always a solo traveler, always curious, always staying for just one night, and always something strange in common. Every single guest left a recording, an iPhone voice memo, a scribbled note, a camcorder file, even an analog cassette. Like they all knew someone would have to hear their final words. The hotel's staff didn't talk about it, not out of fear of management, but something older, something watching. They spoke in whispers. They avoided the 4th floor. They warned new employees, like Ethan, with cryptic advice. Don't clean room 413, not even if it stinks. If someone knocks from inside the closet, don't answer. If you hear your name at night, don't answer. It's not them. But Ethan couldn't let it go. He found Jason's video haunting him. He watched it again and again, frame by frame, and in the last 3 seconds, just before the camera goes black, he noticed something none of the online viewers had caught. Jason's reflection in the mirror wasn't following him. It was standing still, smiling. Something else had taken his shape. That night, Ethan broke into room 413 again. He brought bolt cutters, a flashlight, and a GoPro strapped to his chest. The room was darker than it had been before, the air wet, like something had been breathing in it for years. The bed was gone. In its place was a deep stain on the floorboards, and tiny black objects scattered around the room like teeth. The closet creaked, and the red door, it was wide open. There was a staircase behind it, not a ladder, not a hatch, a spiraling staircase made of bone-white steps, leading downward into total blackness. And just before Ethan stepped down the first stair, he received a text from Jason's number. It read, "You're already inside." His phone died, and the closet slammed shut behind him and shut behind him. Ethan each step creaking under his weight, though the staircase felt sturdy, too sturdy for something hidden inside a wall. The deeper he went, the more the air changed. It grew thicker, humid, with the coppery temps of old, blood and wet rot. There were no lights, no walls, just the white spiraled down into something impossible. He tried his flashlight. It flickered violently, like it was resisting what it saw, but it stayed on. The GoPro on his chest blinked red, still recording. At the bottom of the stairs, the floor opened into a long hallway that looked identical to the 4th floor above. Same layout, same wallpaper, same room numbers, but everything was wrong. The carpet squished under his feet as if soaked. The wallpaper breathed, pulsing in and out. The doors, some of them were slightly open, as if something had just gone inside. Ethan passed room 409. The door was ajar. He peeked inside. Inside was a dining table set for one, and sitting there, alone, in complete stillness, was a woman in a vintage airline uniform, smiling with a severed finger on her plate. Her eyes didn't blink, but her head twitched, just barely, as if trying to follow him. Room 410A. Man in a hotel uniform stabbed himself repeatedly in the chest with a pen. His motions slow, robotic. Blood spurted in reverse, flowing back into his body. Room 411. Empty, but something was scratching at the floor from underneath the bed. Something trying to dig its way out. And then Ethan reached room 413. Down here, it had a different number. Room 0. He tried the knob. It was cold. Iskala. It turned, without resistance. The room was entirely made of mirror, floor, ceiling, walls. His reflection stood all around him. But something was wrong. One of the reflections wasn't him. It was Jason. Only Jason looked different. He was smiling wide, too wide. His eyes were all black. His arms, too long, hung to his knees. And then, every mirror began to bleed. Thick, black-red liquid poured from the glass, flooding the floor. The GoPro on Ethan's chest began glitching, displaying dozens of different rooms he'd never seen before. Cells, operating rooms, cages, all filled with people screaming silently, trapped behind the screen. And then Ethan heard the voice. Again, one room opens, when another one closes. The door behind him vanished, and in its place, on the mirror wall, appeared a sign in that elegant hotel calligraphy. "Welcome, Mr. Ethan Gray. Your stay begins now. Stay begins now." The mirror round Ethan like smoke. The walls didn't vanish, they peeled back, like skin sloughing from bone. Behind them, brick, wet and pulsing, the color of raw flesh. Ethan turned to run. There was nowhere to run. The room had transformed into a long, narrow corridor, dimly lit by flickering gas lamps that hadn't existed seconds ago. A single phrase echoed from unseen speakers, whispered like a lullaby. "Stay with us. Stay with us. ... Stay with us. ... And then he saw them. The guests. They stood silently in small alcoves carved into the walls, hundreds of them, every one of them still alive, barely. Their skin was translucent, their eyes filmed over white. Some trembled, others sobbed, but most just stared at Ethan. They wore different clothes. A woman in a 1950s house dress, clutching a melted rotary phone. A child in a NASA t-shirt from 1998, arms outstretched like he wanted a hug. A tourist couple wearing Jazz Fest hats from 2013, whispering into invisible microphones. A man in military fatigues with a motel room key buried in his eye socket. All of them had hotel room numbers branded onto their necks. Ethan stumbled backwards, hyperventilating. Then a hand gripped his shoulder. Jason. But not Jason. This thing wearing Jason's body was taller, thinner, like a marionette held up by invisible strings. His smile was torn too wide, and where his tongue should have been was a key. "Found your room," it rasped. Ethan backed away. He pressed his GoPro button, the only thing tethering him to reality. Racanlas Settery 3751. The feed now displayed a hallway he hadn't entered yet. A metal door, covered in chains. On the door, his name, Ethan Gray, scratched in by nails. Suddenly, the hallway twisted. Literally. The corridor bent, as though the walls were made of rubber and space itself was warping. Gravity shifted. Ethan stumbled forward, straight, into the hallway from the GoPro footage. There was the metal door, there were the chains, and there was a note. "One guest leaves when one takes their place." Jason's voice echoed again, right behind him. "Checkout time, Ethan. You understand now. You always did." And then, Ethan remembered. A flash of memory. The email offer. The free hotel stay. Jason had forwarded it to him, but it had been addressed to Jason. Jason was never meant to come. Ethan took his place, and now, someone had to take his. Suddenly, the guests in the walls began to move, their heads turning, mouths opening, some screaming, some pleading, some laughing. They chanted, "One for one, one for one, one for one, one for one." Ethan saw. His name burned into it, as though the hotel had been waiting for him for years. And maybe it had. The hallway shuddered again, bending reality like heat waves over desert asphalt. Behind him, the guests started stepping out from their alcoves, slowly at first, dragging their feet, leaving bloody heel smears across the floor. Their lips moved in unison, whispering the same cursed line. "No one leaves, unless one replaces." Ethan reached for the chains on the door. They were warm, like they were alive, pulsing. His fingers touched the lock hand. It blinked, not mechanically, but like an eyelid. It opened. Inside the room was nothing, just darkness. and a breathing sound so deep it shook the air like thunder from beneath the earth. The room didn't smell like rot. It smelled like forgotten time, rust, mold, and something older than language. Then, a child's voice, coming from the void. "You took someone's place. Now someone must take yours." A shape slithered toward him, long, thin, made of shadows and bones that didn't connect correctly. A face emerged from the dark, eyes inverted, like black mirrors. Mouth stitched shut with Hotel Keychains. It reached out with a skeletal hand. Ethan backed up until he remembered something. His GoPro still recording, still live streaming, thousands watching, and maybe, just maybe, someone else could be tempted. He screamed into the lens. "They're real. The hotel's real. Find ITT's called the Silver Halo, NOLA, room 1919. Find IT, help me." The stream flickered. Thousands of comments flooded in. One, pinned by an unknown user, read, "Just got the invite. Free stay. Room 1919. Can't wait." And then, silence. The GoPro battery died. 2 weeks later, an online thread appeared in a dark corner of Reddit, posted by a user named JG Riley-1919, double quotes. It simply read, "Anyone else get a free hotel voucher in the mail from the Silver Halo? I swear I never signed up for it. Says one night only. June 30th, 2025. Anyone know if it's legit?" The top comment? "Only if you're ready to never leave. Ready to never leave."